Good afternoon to all. Respected principal sir and all my dear friends. This meeting is being called for the proper planning regarding the inspection, virtual annual inspection of the K.V.Itbp shift 1 and 2. So we are all here to discuss few points regarding the best level preparation of the presentation of the day of 18 November, which has been fixed by the shift 2 inspection, and the 23rd November is decided for shift 1. So we know that a proper plan and a better execution is very much important for getting a good presentation, successful presentation of that day. So we are aiming at, and for that purpose, for that objective, to achieve all the excellence of the day, to present a good picture, which is already a good picture of our KV, to present a better picture of teaching, learning on that day before the different members of the panel of inspection team. So we are here to discuss some key points. So first of all, I want to discuss the members of panel, the number of members of panel in that, because it is also an important point that 11 principal and 1 in charge principal and 1 HM is coming to inspect us on the day, and a great good number of members are there in team. So it has a message inside it that if such a large number of people are coming to see us, to evaluate us, or I can say to learn from us, that will give a kind of booster to our confidence that what kind of picture we have in our region. That so many teachers, so many principals and members and AC, apart from AC, 11 principals are there, 1 in charge principal is also there. So keeping this point in the mind, we have to put a very good and very clear-cut picture before these people that we have achieved and we are on the way to achieving the excellence in teaching learning process. So for that we have to come up with a good planning. So for that we are here. Broadly, I can say that the preparation for the inspection day or the presentation of this whole process, we can divide into two. I can divide into two broad domains. That is pre-preparation before the actual presentation of the day, and the presentation of the topic, presentation of the lesson. So regarding the first phase of the preparation, I am going to discuss few key points before you that we should keep in mind that for having a better plan. Number one, in the previous inspections I have attended in KV Lohaghat and virtual inspection actually, in KV Lohaghat and KV New Tili town. AC ma'am, Alka Gupta ma'am and Supriti Ravani ma'am has pointed out that first of all, it's a responsibility of the teacher to ask the student to maintain a good profile. For the same purpose, now KVSRO Dehradun has obtaining a new system of G-Suite ID, because it was seen that students have made their own profile with the name of mother, name of her father, and with the photos of one of the heroine or heroes, all these like things. So AC ma'am has pointed out that the profile photo, profile name should be well maintained, and photo of the student should be in the uniform of the school also. So I think with the help of Ankit sir and Sonali Raman Joshi sir, we will define a system that the G-Suite ID which has been provided by the regional office have this kind of mechanism or not. If not, then we have to make it. So the first presentation, when we start the presentation of the lesson, RO officers are checking that whether the students are maintaining a proper decorum or not. So it is a part of that etiquette. Now second is attendance. Most important point, online inspection, I have seen that in lower classes there is no more attendance more than 50% in any of the class. Though I have seen that in the senior classes of 11th and 12th, the attendance is far beyond 80 to 90%. This has a reason, because most of the students, senior students, are having their own mobiles. They have purchased their own mobiles, or mother and father presented them with a mobile. But that kind of sincerity is not being shown with the device availability of the lower class students, because that education is not so much, the parents are not so much concerned about their education, so because they are focusing over the 10th, 11th and 12th students. So we have to ensure the maximum attendance on the day. Now next, teachers should comment about before initially starting the chapter, that what kind of manners, etiquette should be followed by the students as well as teacher. So the teacher will definitely ask to the student, we have to definitely ask to the students that your camera should be on, your voice audio should be off, and all these things. Clearly visual, and also you should be well dressed, well in uniform, all these like things. So such kind of instruction should be thrown out by the teacher to the students before they starting the chapter, starting the lesson. Now, most important thing is lesson plan. So regarding the lesson plan and all the matters is what is going to be presented before the students, you have to use Diksha portal or e-Pathshala portal or any other portal like that. But you have to mention that this kind of material, this material is being taken from this platform. So you have to use the platforms and also mention the platforms during the lecture. Any way you can decide, but that should be mentioned, because it will also, most of the teachers have used that. They are taking the material from that, but they are not mentioning. So that's why that is not going to be noticed. So later on it comes in a point, a criticism point, that you are not using these kind of portals, which are using the method of KVS teachers. But KVS teachers are not using that. But we are using, but we have to mention that. Now next, Google Classroom. There should be a definite visit of the inspectors to the Google Classroom, which I found, which has been mentioned in some of the inspection, that Google Classroom visit was not there. Even I didn't visit any Google Classroom. So if the teacher is providing the well settled infrastructure to the inspector well before the lesson plan, then definitely the visit can be happening. That should be, because we are using that. So that's why we have to showcase that. Now, most important point was, one of the most important point was using the live practicals. And that has been also used by some of the senior teachers, PGTs of PGT Physics and Chemistry in our school. Even I think Biology ma'am is there. O-Labs, using O-Labs, depicting the practicals lively is one of the most important aspect. There should be a class. We should plan for that kind of class that will only demonstrate the live practicals. That should not be a theory class. Some of the teachers should, I suggest that some of the teachers should take the practical class also from O-Lab like apps. Now, one of the most important also instruction was, Principal Rodki have observed that very few, or I can say no one was using the e-writing pad. He himself developed a module and recorded a module and posted in the principal group that he himself teaching the chemistry through the using of e-pen. So that's why he was focusing that, and this kind of technology is being used only by 3 or 4 teachers in our school. That ratio should be increased. Most of the teachers should be well acquainted with this kind of system through the training modules provided by the leaders of this field. So I request Garima ma'am, and I already requested actually Garima ma'am and all these 1 and 2 people that please provide the training of the using the e-writing pad, and all the teachers having the Apple iPad issued to them must use this kind of feature. Next, the common mistake which has been taken by every staff, that on the day of inspection, we have not chosen our topic very carefully. I mean to say that we have to choose a small topic, and that topic should be presented in a way that each and every step of pedagogical strategy should be incorporated through while we are delivering that topic. So choose the topic very carefully. It should be very small. It should have a proper lesson plan. It should have all the steps suggested by the pedagogical people to deliver to the students. It is only possible that only when teachers are taking the topic in a well-planned way with a thought to deliver properly. Actually, we always try to lecture more and test less. To impress, we have the thought to impress the inspector with our knowledge actually. This mistake, every teacher, 99% teachers are mistaking this on this point, that they want to express themselves before the inspector. While inspector is checking, inspector is there to check all these steps, including your intelligence. But we are always focusing our intelligence only, and that's why more and more lecturing is there and less testing is there. I want to recommend less lecturing, more testing. This should be a principle of deliverance of the topic of the day. It is actually preparation of the day, but it should be a general tendency or general habit of the teacher that lecture should be given only 10 to 15 minutes duration of the 40 minutes lecture, 40 minutes period, and rest of the 25 minutes should be given to the testing of the learning outcomes. What kind of learning, what kind of delivery of concept has been gone through the minds of the students. That testing should be more important. Next point is study well the inspection tool. I have my plan is to show later on. I will show the. Okay, Ankit sir, if you can show the inspection tool. We have a look over the inspection tool. We should, and I have posted this into the group, into the main group of our KV. This inspection tool, you have to study well. The demands of this inspection tool, each point should be well recorded in your mind. Some of the points are very key. Actually, most important points are there. That e-lesson plan is there if not. Point number, I think I should start from point number 10. Online platforms. I have seen that only the Google Meet was used by the teacher. And the teacher pointed out that we are using the WhatsApp also, we are using the Google Classroom, even we are using another platform. But I didn't see that the teacher was using these platforms which have been written there. So that's why so we have to devise a system by which we can show that we are using 3 or 4 platforms at the same time. How can we do? We have to devise. Now, point number 13 is very good. Teaching aid shared video during e-class. So if you can play the video during the e-class, that can be very good, but it is not possible during the using of G-Meet. So PPT, everyone is doing the PPT. Online use of whiteboard.
Video can be played.
Video can be played? Okay. Then I recommend that slide 4 or 5 minutes video should be played there. So PPT we are all using. Online use of whiteboard, that will be replaced by the e-board or e-pen. Yeah, e-pen. If you are using e-pen, this point is also going to be satisfied. And lecture method and any other method or something. Next important point is e-lesson plan. I have started this mechanism. From today onwards, whatever the classes I'm going to observe, I demand a pre-lesson plan of the day. Day-wise lesson plan should be provided to observer. So that will be continued to the date of 18th and 23rd November. Now, point number 15, that any question has been prepared or not. Yes, this is the instruction. From my side and also from the CBSE side, during the release of alternative academic calendar, it has been written that a well-developed, I will read out that. A good number of questions should also be prepared aimed at testing the creative and critical thinking of the students in the topic concerned. So, involving all these aspects of 21st century skills, we have to prepare before the lecture a kind of questionnaire for evaluation of learning outcomes. So, next topic is audio and video quality. That will be depend on the connectivity issues and network issues. We can't do anything in this. And next, confidence. Point number 17, fourth. It is dealing with the confidence. You should be confident. Don't be nervous during that day, because it is the general habit, or it is the general lecture, it is the general class. We are taking that. 18th November and 23rd November are not the special days. We should have that kind of tendency in our mind, that we are every day we are under inspection by the principal or by the HM or by the vice principal. So now point number 19 is, yes, learning outcome. Checked or not through the questionnaire, during the lecture and at the end of lecture. Both these questionnaires are important. During the lecture, if we ask the question, don't forget asking the questions during the lecture to the students, because it will keep the students alert. It will make it will throw out the feeling that the students and teachers and the lecture is being interactive, and the students are responsive. Students are getting the theme concept. The students are taking the knowledge from the idea. So during the lecture, questions should be asked without fail. And after the lecture, your 2 or 3 or 4 questions can assume that a real kind of learning happened during the lecture or not. So the 2 phases of these questionnaires should be well defined and well keep in mind. Now, point number 20 is sure related with the point number 19. If the teacher is asking the questions to the student, definitely students are taking part in this activity. And innovation. Yes, one kind of innovation I want to share. No one does this kind of innovation because it is not the easy task that to be innovative. But one physical education teacher was taking the class, and I rated best excellent that teacher, because physical education teacher is not a kind of exactly teacher. Despite of that, she has the innovative ways to address the student. She was taking the class of yoga. And she asked the students to perform the yoga with the teacher as well. But before doing the yoga, she was telling the story. She was making the background of that particular yoga, and then with this story, she was asking to students to perform this activity. So that was different, because one kind of approach is that ask the students that follow me, whatever I am doing, just start doing as I am doing. But that kind of different approach was followed by that teacher. She was having the background of each activity. She was making the class joyful with that kind of example. Joyful learning class was there also, and activity-based class was also there. No doubt, this yoga class will always be experiential class. Experiential learning will be having there in that class. So that's why that kind of innovation through that yoga teacher, if we can plan, then definitely we should have. So we can think about this point, that how we are going to present our topic before the students, in a general way or in a special way. Next, incorporation of, I have already mentioned 2 or 3 skills. Incorporation of different topics. Number 1, experiential learning. Number 2, art integrated learning. I'll show one lesson plan, model lesson plan of the teacher that included the art integrated learning. She was taking the class of English, and she asked the students to make a kind of drawing, and we'll see that what kind of drawing can be made by the students who are learning the English, who are taking the knowledge of English. Because art is not the subject which can be practiced in each and every subject. It is the general tendency of the people, but that English teacher has incorporated So we will think that can physics teacher, can humanities teacher, can commerce teacher incorporate this kind of art integrated learning. So I pointed that part of that lesson plan, that definitely I deliver this thought to the in the meeting, that yes, art integrated teaching was practiced by the teacher of English as well, not the teacher of drawing. Drawing teacher, it is the duty of the drawing teacher that to perform the art integration. Now, most important is interdisciplinary approach. One point in point number 18 I have missed. In use of practice of interdisciplinary approach in inspection tool is given there. Interdisciplinary approach, it means during the lecture we should connect our lecture to the different subjects, different even classes, different parts of the life. Real life examples can be quoted. So philosophy, real life, other subjects, all this should be incorporated in one lecture. If we can, then definitely our lecture, our class will be rated as excellent. Similar to that, spiral learning should be there. If we mention what spiral learning is actually, we should understand first. Spiral learning focused over the revision of the topics. What student is having the pre-knowledge of the topic, and if a student is having has already read about that topic, we should mention that in the class 4th standard you have read about this topic. We can also mention that in the same book, in chapter number 11 and chapter number 3, which we are going to study, which we are studying, chapter number 3 and 11 are correlated. This is the spiral. So first we start from chapter 3 and we will take to chapter 11, and when that turn of chapter 11 comes, we will take the lecture, or we will start the chapter number 11 with the introduction or slight kind of 2 or 3 periods even. It can be the demonstration of the chapter number 3. So chapter number 11 will be based on chapter number 3, and 3 is mentioning the reference of chapter number 11. And even beyond that, you can in the class 6, I took the class of SST, and I already quoted this example before the teacher, that I always quoted that class 6 chapter which we are going to study, this chapter, particular chapter in SST, that the same chapter is being given in the class 12. So class 6 was studying the syllabus of 12th, and the class 12th was studying that same chapter you have come down in the class 6, this chapter was there. So if you have good memory, then definitely the class 6 will have been reminded. So I take the example for that. This is the spiral learning. So if